So one thing we talk about in geography is spatial patterns. We can see spatial patterns when we look at natural environments, and sometimes we see spatial patterns in human environments as well. So I'm going to take you through some of the main spatial patterns that we should be familiar with. These could come in handy when we're talking about the global topic as well. So sometimes when we look at an environment, there is no discernible pattern. Sometimes things are just higgledy-piggledy, they're all over the show, and we can't see any regularity, any system or pattern going on. So this would be called irregular. However, sometimes we can see things grouping together in little pockets, little clusters. We can call this pattern clustered, or nucleated is quite a fancy word for that. Sometimes features group themselves along a line feature. And I'm sure you can imagine if you were a bird flying in the sky over the landscape, think about what situations you might see this kind of pattern, a linear pattern. Sometimes we can see patterns radiating out from the center. It's almost like they're spokes in a wheel. They're moving out from a centralized point or grouped along different axes. Sometimes this one's pretty freaky. We can see that things are connected, and as you travel down paths, it breaks into other paths. And we can think of situations in nature where we might see this. And I wonder if you can think of some human examples as well. This is called a dendritic pattern. And a dendrologist is someone who studies tree rings, because the word dendric comes from trees. Sometimes things are very orderly, and we can see things either in straight lines like a grid, like this one is. Sometimes it's not a perfect grid, but it's still like a structured pattern. And sometimes you can see things are pushed to the edge. All the features are located around the perimeter or the edge of something, and this is called a peripheral pattern. And our final pattern we're going to talk about is zonal. So this is when things are arranged in layers, a bit like an onion. And if you slice an onion a certain way, you'll see those round layers going out from the center. So that's a little summary of the main patterns we should be aware of.